Guys, here's your guys' help video for the factoring test review. Okay, your guys' practice test. So for number 1, remember, always ask yourself this question: can you factor out everything? For number 1, we can't. Nothing is factorable at this point. We have 3 terms, and if we have 3 terms, it's a equals 1, a greater than 1, or u sub. So this one is a is equals to 1 situation. And if it's a is equal to 1, you guys do your x method. And it's what 2 numbers multiply the top, and when added gives you guys the bottom. That is -7 times -2. And since a is equals to 1, you guys know you just use the 2 side numbers as your guys' factors. And there's number 1. Number 2, can you factor out everything? Nope. Nothing can factor into all 3. Is there 3 terms? Yes. So we have a equals 1, greater than 1, or u substitution. Well, we have an a is greater than 1 situation. So this is where you guys could do grouping or your guys' guess and check. So for grouping, x method, a times c is 3 times 4 for 12 and -8. The 2 numbers that multiply to give you the top, and when added give you guys the bottom, that's -6 and -2. Now since a is greater than 1, we gotta do our grouping, so it's these 4 terms. So 3x squared minus 6x minus 2x plus 4. We group all this, so factor out a 3x to get x minus 2. Factor out, because everyone look, there's a negative sign, you have to factor out a negative sign, and a 2 can go into both. So we get x minus 2. So these match, which is great. So it's 3x minus 2 from these, you guys, and then x minus 2. Number 3, can we factor out everything? Nope. 2 terms, yes. Cubes or squares? These are both square rootable, meaning there is something times itself that gives you guys those 2 quantities. 6a times 6a is 36a squared. 5b times 5b is 25b squared, plus and minus. 4, can we factor out something from each? No. 2 terms? Yes. Cubes or squares? This is sum and difference of cubes, because there is something times itself 3 times that will give us each one. So for 27y to the third, that's 3y times 3y times 3y. So 3y. For 64, 4 times 4 times 4 is 64. Now, whenever you guys do sum and difference of cubes, you always have to use these formulas. So a cubed minus b cubed equals ab, a squared, ab, b squared. Then use SOAP, right? Same, opposite, always positive. And now we just plug in for all our a's are now 3y and all our b's are 4. 3y minus 4. Plug in a in for here, so that's going to be 3y to the second, right? 3 times 3 is 9. Y times y, y squared. The middle is ab, so our a, 3y, times our b, 3y times 4, plus 12y. Our b squared is 4 to the second power, which is 4 times 4 for 16. Okay, number 5. Can we factor out something from each term? No. Do we have 3 terms? Yes. A equals 1, a greater than 1, or u sub. This is a u sub. Everyone look at the powers, right? It's double. So u equals a to the 4th. So this could be really written like this, you guys, right? A to the 8th. So if we substitute in u for a to the 4th, it's just u squared minus 8u plus 15. Okay, now do we have a equals 1 case or a is greater than 1? This is certainly an a is equals to 1 case. So that's good, because then we could just use our 2 side numbers. Negative 5 times negative 3 gives you guys positive 15, but when you guys add negative 5 and minus 3, that gives you guys negative 8. So it's u minus 5. Remember, when a is equals to 1, you guys use the two side numbers, and u minus 3. Now, don't forget to plug in a into the fourth bracket for u. Plugged it in, and there we go. Oh, number 6. Okay, can you factor out something from each term? No. How many terms do we have? We got 4. When there's 4 terms, we group. We can factor out a 5x from both. 7y minus 1. And we can factor out a negative 8. It has to be a negative because there's a negative in the front. Negative 8 out of 7y plus, nope, 7y minus 1. They both match, which is perfect. 5x minus 8, 7y minus 1. Number 7. Can you factor out something from each term? Yes, you can factor out a 3. X squared minus x. Now, if you guys don't know how to divide bigger numbers, right? Something you guys should do is your elementary school skills. If you don't know 33 can go into 36, and you guys try it. 3 goes into 3 once. 3 goes into 6 twice. So 3 goes into 36 12 times. Again, that is for those students that do not know how, cannot divide in their head. Just write it out, right? Now, how many terms do we have in the parentheses? 3. Is it an a equals 1, a greater than 1, or u substitution? It's an a equals to 1 case. There's a 1 in front of that x squared. So, x method, the two numbers are negative 4 and 3. Don't forget the 3. X minus 4, x plus 3. Number 8. So, what can we divide into each one? You guys could divide a 4. 4v squared. Now again, if you guys do not know that 4 can go into 60 and 100, just try it out, right? 4 goes into 6 once. 4 goes into 15 times. 4 goes into 10 twice. 4 goes into 5 5 for a total of 25. So we're going to get 60 divided by 4 is 15v, negative 100 divided by 4 is negative 25. So we have a trinomial, 3 terms, right? A equals 1, a greater than 1, or u sub. This is an a is greater than 1 case. Look at our a value. It's 4, right? So x method or guess and check. A times c, so 4 times negative 25 is negative 100. The bottom is 15. The two numbers are positive 20 and negative 5. Now, because a is greater than 1, we're going to do grouping. So don't forget the 4. And these are the 4 terms we're grouping, right? 4v squared plus 20v minus 5v minus 25. You guys can factor out a 4v from both to get v plus 5, and factor out a negative 5 from both to get v plus 5. They both match, so we get 4v minus 5 and v plus 5. Okay. Number 9. Can you factor out something from each? Right. Yes, you guys can factor out a 5. 8ab, 6a, negative 20b, minus 15. Gonna drop this down. How many terms do we have? We have 4 terms. What's the only method with 4 terms? Grouping. From the first grouping, you guys can factor out a 2a to get 4b plus 3. From the next grouping, you guys can factor out a negative 5. 4b plus 3. So we got 5, 2a minus 5 coming from there and there, and then the 4b plus 3. Okay, number 10. Now, again, if you don't know, you could divide both by 6. Just try it out. Take a risk, right? 6 goes into 21 3 times. 6 times 6 is 36. So we can factor out a 6, an A, and a Y. 216 divided by 6 is 36, you guys. You took away an A and a Y, so no more A and Y. 6 divided by 6 is 1. You took away an A and Y from here, so all that's left is Y to the 4th. But you are not done. How many terms do we have? 2 terms. Squares or cubes? These are perfect squares. So there is something times itself that will give us both of them. What times itself is 36x to the 4th? 6x squared. What times itself is y to the 4th? Y squared. Plus and minus, or minus and plus. 11. You guys could divide both of them by 8. You could take one x away from both and a y squared from both. 72 divided by 8 is 9. X to the 3rd minus y to the 3rd. And this is it, because if some of you think that this is a sum and difference of cubes, there is no number times itself 3 times is 9. 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. 3 times 3 times 3 is 9. There is no such number. So as a result, that is as much as you guys can factor out. Number 12. You guys can factor out a 3 from all. 2n to the 10th plus 5n to the 5th plus 2. 3 terms. Is this a equals 1, a greater than 1, or u sub? It's a u sub. So we get 3 times 2u squared plus 5u plus 2. Now, is it a equals 1 or a is greater than 1? This is an a is greater than 1 case, but I'm going to do the guess and check method to show you guys. Well, 2u squared is the first term, so that's 2u times u. What times what gives you guys the 2? Well, our factor of 2 is either 1 and 2, right? But since the middle is positive, you know that we're not dealing with negative numbers, but positive. So, how do we go about this? Well, one of these has to be 1 and one of these has to be 2, and it has to be 1 here and 2 here. How do I know that? Because when you guys add up the happy face with the rainbow, 1 times u is 1, 2u times 2u guys is 4. What's 4 plus 1? That's 5u. So that is the correct method, but then you guys gotta plug in n to the 5th back in for u. 2n to the 5th plus 1, n to the 5th plus 2. But if you guys do your grouping method after a is greater than 1, that would also work as well. 13. So you guys can divide both of them by 12. You can take away 3 x's from both and take away 2 y's from both. 24 divided by 12 is 2. You took away 3 x's, no more x, took away 2 y's, y to the 3rd. 12 divided by 12 is 1, so negative. You took away 3 x's from there, so that's just x to the 3rd, and you already took 2 y's away from there. So that's just no more y. And we have 2 terms, and again, some of you might want to do a sum and difference of cubes, but there is no number times itself. 3 times is 2. If this wasn't there, you guys, then you can take the sum and difference of that, because y times y times y is y to the 3rd, x times x times x, x to the 3rd. $14. You guys can factor out a 3 from all and an x. They all have an x term. So you guys get p squared minus 5p minus 14. 3 terms. Is this a equals 1, greater than 1, or u substitution? It's an a is equals to 1 case. So it's just an x method, negative 7 and 2. So 3x p minus 7, p plus 2. 15. What can we factor out from both? A 2, an x, and a y to the 5th. 32 divided by 2, 16. You took away an x, so x squared. You took away 5 y's, no more y's. 50 divided by 2, you guys, is negative 25. You took away its x, and you took away 5y's from that y to 7, so it's just y squared. Okay, two terms. Is it squares or is it cubes? This is squares. There is something times itself that gives you guys both of those. What times what is 16x squared? 4x. What times what is 25y squared? 5y. Plus and minus. And lastly, 16. Can you factor out something from each term? Yes, a 5. 30 divided by 5 is 6b. 40 divided by 5 is 8. We have three terms, so is it a equals 1, a greater than 1, or u sub? It is certainly an a equals 1 situation. 8, negative 6, negative 4, negative 2. And because it's a is equal to 1, just the side numbers, right? Don't forget the 5, v minus 4, v minus 2. And there is your guys' practice test. So good luck, everybody. Study hard, and good luck on studying in your guys' exam. Peace.